Welcome to You Can Do It. Today we're working on a VW T5.2 and we're going to be changing the brake fluid. Something that most people don't actually do, but the manufacturers recommend doing it every 2 years. The reason that you change the brake fluid is because it absorbs moisture, and then basically you can get a bit of a spongy pedal, and also in the whole system, within the system, it just gets dirty and bits of muck in there from just from within the tubes and everything. So it's best to sort of change it every 2 years, although most people don't. But we're going to show you today how to change the brake fluid. So first of all, we pop this open. So we'll go through later what you need, but you obviously need a good litre and a half of fresh brake fluid. This is a .4, so it usually tells you on here. So we got .4, and then there's various different ways of actually bleeding the brakes. You can use pressure, which means you put pressure into here, or you get someone to push the brake pedal and you're squirting the old fluid out, and then obviously you then have to constantly keep topping this up. Or you can use a vacuum, so you actually go to each brake nipple, undo it, and then you suck the fluid out. I personally find if you're on your own, it's a lot easier. Have it pressurized, because then you can just go around to each nipple, undo it, let the fluid come out, etc. But you'll see all that as we go along in this procedure. So I'm actually going to, I'll show you later, I've got a device which I can pressure this with, put some new fluid in, and it pressurizes it and it pushes the new fluid through there. So we can do that, and I'll show you how to do it that way. Now, before you start, you need to undo this. All right, and you need to take this little plastic thing out here. You need a pair of pliers to do that. And then what I can do is suck. Now you can suck out of there with a syringe or whatever, however you want to do it, or a turkey baster or something like that. But you need to suck all the brake fluid, all that brake fluid out in there, and then fill that up with fresh fluid. The reason being, there's no point you pumping the pedal and loosening off the nipples and pushing basically all that dirty stuff back through the system. So you might as well have a clean reservoir here. So I empty this now. Now I've got a Mitivac, so I'm just going to actually suck up that one there. But it doesn't matter what, if you haven't got one of those, just use a syringe or something, like I say, or a turkey baster to get that up. The first things first, let's get some pliers and pull out that little cover there, and then let's suck out all that fluid. Okay, so that's out. We'll use a pair of pliers to get that out there. Now I've got a Mitivac here, so I can put that in there like that. I can pump that, and that'll suck it all into that little container there. So let me get on and do that. I'll be back in a second. Okay, look. See, I'm putting a vacuum in there, look, and it's all coming into that tube at the bottom there. So I can just keep doing that until this reservoir. There's actually a lot of fluid in there. I'm going to have to undo, I'll have to decant that twice. Anyway, let me get on. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I drained all the fluid out of there. I put the whole tin of that in, so you now know that there's half a litre just in this container here, this reservoir. So that's why you need probably a litre and a half if you want to completely flush out your brake fluid. So that's now all filled up. I've put the top on there. I've had to go out actually for a quick spin to do some errands. I'm now back so I can actually finish off the rest of this bleed. So now what we're going to do, now basically from here, that goes down to your ABS pump, which is just down there. So it used to be said that, you know, you do the one that's furthest away and everything, but because that goes into the ABS pump, I don't actually think it makes that much difference. But we'll do it the traditional way. So it goes into the pump, and most times your ABS system will be beneath that. But for instance, if it was over there, you would then do the furthest wheel from there, which is that back one, and then that one, then that one, then that one. But because our pump is there, I'm going to do the furthest wheel at the back over there. Then I'm going to do that wheel, then I'm going to do this wheel, and I'm going to do this wheel. Okay, so what we're going to do is, now, I said I was going to use this by pressurizing it. So what do I need? So what we've got here, this is a kit I bought from Amazon. I think it was about 30 euros. So you get this nice little unit here. So the idea is, you fill that up with brake fluid, you pump that up till you get up to about 10 psi. You connect that to your reservoir, and then the fluid is put into there under pressure, and you can go to your back to whichever wheel you want to. You put that on your nipple, you loosen your nipple, then the fluid goes into there. That's a theory. And then I've got here a litre of brake fluid. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pour that into that cylinder, and we're going to go out to that back rear wheel and start bleeding the system. So what you need for a VW is a 11mm spanner, which I do believe I have somewhere. Okay, with this kit we get a nice little spanner there, which basically helps you. This helps you undo that, right? So what I'm going to do is pour the brake fluid in there. So I'm going to pour in most of that in the bottom, into the bottom of there. Now I've put the whole litre in there, which has come up a little bit there. So I put this lid on here, and then use this little spanner here just to make it nice and tight. Right, okay. So now we've got this bit here, right, which will, there's an adapter for here. So we'll put that on here, look. And I just do that up, sort of finger type, not silly type, but just so there's a seal. Right, so the idea is then we can take this, look, and we can pump this up here by hand. Okay, so that's a 10 psi. So the theory is I'm then going to connect that to that, pressurise that whole system, and I can bleed my brakes. But before I do that, what I'm going to do actually, I've got a little bit of, there's going to be a little bit of fluid in the master cylinder for the brake pedal. So what I'm going to do is just going to go and do a bit of old-fashioned bleeding at the back there. So I'm going to pump. I'm on my own, so I'm going to pump the brake and bleed what's in the actual master cylinder out, and then I know when I pressurise through there, it's all going to be clean. So let's go out to the back of the vehicle. You need to jack it up, but I'm doing this because I'm going to try and video underneath it, and I need a bit more space. So I've just literally jacked that up on the tow hitch and put an axle stand under there to keep it safe. So I'm going to go under here now, and we'll start trying to do a bleed. Okay, but I'll say you don't actually can get under here without jacking it up. Okay, I've put a light up there so you can see. So you got your little nipple there, you got a little plastic cover on it. So you take your little plastic cover off. Look, oh, that's come off there. And now you've got your nipple there, look. So what you need to do, these ones are 11mm. Get yourself an 11mm ratchet spanner like that. Here, look, stick it on. There we are. Now I can undo that. Okay, look, I've loosened that off. Just so that my ratchet spanner's too thick to have the thing on both, but that will fit on there. So look, I can now undo that and tighten it up. So what I'm going to do is undo that, and look, you can see fluids coming out. So now I'm going to go in and pump the brake pedal, and you'll see fluid come into that jar. Okay, look, I'm inside. I'm going to start pushing the brake pedal, so I can push it right to the floor now, and that's going to be pushing the brake pedal to the floor, and that's now basically pumping the old stuff out of the master cylinder. There's just a couple of those, look. There we are. Right, that'll do. Now, turn all that off. Now I'm going to go back to that rear wheel and turn the thing back up, tighten it up. So look, there's the fluid that's come through it. Look. Now I'm just gonna tighten that up so it's tight, because we're going to pressurize the system now. So I'm going to go and pressurize the system, and now we can just go around each one and do it. But I now know that the master cylinder hasn't got any of the old stuff in it, because it would have sucked in the new, which I filled up in the reservoir. Okay, let's go to the front again. All right, that's still at 10 bar, so that's holding it. So now what we're going to do is push this on here. You see? So that now will have pressurized the system. So now what I should be able to do, as I start to drain it, new fluid will come down here into there. See, look, you see it's going in now. Got to keep it flat. Yeah, make sure the pressure's still good. So let me go to the. Okay, we're back under here now, and it's all pressurized. So let's just watch what happens when it's coming out. This bit here is just so you can hang it up. That's all just coming out there. That's filling up into there. Looks a lot more in there, and that's looking clean now. So I'll turn that nipple and turn it off. Okay, that side's done, so that's nice and tight. So I'll take that off, put the little plastic grommet back on, we can go over to the other side. So let me just take that off. Okay, that's off. Let's go over to the other side now. Okay, we're at the other side now. So we'll take this. Now, if you've got smaller wheels, these are 18-inch alloys, and then you'll have to take your wheels off. Or at the front, if you've got really big brakes, you might have to take your wheels off. But I've got 18s on here, so I can actually do all this without taking my wheels off. Okay, that's hanging up there. That one's done. Now remember, this is under pressure now, so when I take this, when I undo this, it will start coming in. So let me... Okay, that's on. You can see the stuff, the fluid coming out. Look, if I open that up a bit, you start to see the fluid coming in. I'll just go and check it's pressurized at the front. All right, that's all turned off now. Look, we've got that about right there. So that's all full. So we'll take that off and we'll go to the front now. All right, we're now at the front, and as I say, I can get to all this because I've got 18-inch wheels on it. But if you've got the big discs, I think they've got the big heavy discs, you might not be able to do that. You might actually need to take the wheel off, but I can get to these all right. Look, that's hanging up there. They're at the front now. So I'm going to release that one off. All right, that's starting to come through. Look, you can see that's coming through. So I'll leave that for a bit to train that one. Right, we've done that one. That's really getting full now, but I mean, there's not much pipe work, so you don't need to drain as much out to replace all the fluid, because we're at the front now, we're quite close. Okay, we're on the last one. This is the driver's side. I've taken that off. I've just put a bit of cardboard there, because sometimes if you get the drips down, these rims have been sprayed and they're takes the paint off if I'm not careful. So now I just need to put the last one on, put it on there, and we'll bleed this one. All right, we've drained that one for a bit. Look, so that bottle's nearly a litre in there. We've nearly cleaned everything out of that. So yeah, and there was a little bit. It was a bit mucky to start with, but that's come up clean. But no, it's looking quite good. So I'm just going to disconnect that now. All right, that's how much we've got out, which I reckon is not going to be far off a litre. Well, not far. So we've got a little bit. Look, a little bit left in the bottom of there, so we've done a pretty good flush there. So we've got most of that stuff out, the old stuff. So what we can do now is we can let the pressure off here. Look, all right, so there's no pressure in there now, so we can then take this off with safe with it. It's not gonna, I always have a bit of a leak there. Right, now you might need to top this up because I don't know how much is in here now. Then take this top off. Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, she's about right. She's on the maximum as it was before, so that's pretty good. So that's all fresh fluid in there, so we can put this lid back on there like that. All right, so now I'm just going to clean this up and tidy this up, and then we'll take it out for a spin and see how it is. Okay, we've been out for a spin in it, and yeah, brakes are really nice and sharp, very tight underfoot. I've also put new disc and pads on here as well a couple of days ago, so it said the full work's done on it, so the brakes are very, very good now. So that's how you bleed your brakes. Obviously after a couple of days, maybe just check your nipples and make sure that you haven't got that they're all done up nice and tight. But you can do it. That's how you change your brake fluid on a VW T5, T6, and it's the same principle on all vehicles. If you like the channel, subscribe. Got any comments, send me a comment. I always reply if I can. See you on the next one. You can do it.